as part of organized labor. So JUSAC also went on strike. So the cases that were supposed to come up in court yesterday, what happened?
No show.
No show. They didn't come.
I don't know what to say. JUSAC didn't declare strike. So
it's organized labor that declared a strike. And
so
the JUSAC is part of organized labor. So they were on strike yesterday.
They directed all staff not to report to work yesterday. And if you are a staff and you reported to work yesterday, it means that you had issues with you because you didn't comply, and rightly so. Yesterday in the morning, we tried to comb through all the court and see, especially in Accra, to see what was happening. And I started from the circuit court, and there was no show, nobody. The whole place is empty. The people you can find around are the police officers and then the security officers who are there to ensure that no property is destroyed, nobody enters the premises to do something untoward. Then at the Supreme Court, for those who are familiar with the Supreme Court will note that the Supreme Court, the premises of the Supreme Court are the same place that you can find the Court of Appeal, both civil and criminal divisions. Yesterday, for the Supreme Court, you can understand, the place was locked, but of course, Mondays, the Supreme Court hardly sit on Mondays. So that one, you can understand why the Supreme Court is underlocked. But the Court of Appeals, the civil division and the criminal division was locked, but the civil division was opened. However, there was nobody there, but there were security officers around, so even if it's not locked, the whole place is safe and all that. Then we made a stop at the court complex, the law court complex, where some 42 high courts and other offices are housed in that particular complex. And similarly, there was no show. Only security personnel were seen at the premises, manning the facility and all that. And when you enter the premises, nobody will tell you that there's something happening, because on a usual day, even the road in front of the court is busy because the traffic situation, everybody wants to enter, and you could see the length of the traffic, very, very huge. Yesterday, you didn't see that. So clearly, something was happening up until such time that I was leaving the premises, various courts. And in fact, checks across the country, Kumasi, Tamale, and Western region, all of them, the courts were shut. None of them was working. So
all the
yesterday,
courts.
absolutely. Yesterday,
no action.
Because of the organized labor action for which JUSAC is a member, that particular strike had a toll on justice delivery yesterday. So that's what happened. And of course, we've been asking the question. You notice that virtually every now and then when there's an issue, you see one or two people come around, and or some to satisfy curiosity, some do not know what is happening, and so they only get to the premises of the court to be notified or to be told that they have to go keep listening to Star. When they hear that the courts are back, that means the work is on. They should come back and then transact whatever business or whatever processes that they want to. So yesterday, some few people were around, not knowing that the whole action, organized labor's action, will have an impact on justice delivery. We've been speaking to some of them. Let's hear from what they've been saying.
I was here on Friday morning, and I heard court was sitting, so I thought it was all over. But unfortunately, I didn't hear the news until this morning when I came to court.
How far do you come? Where did you come from?
As far as Lashibi.
Lashibi?
Yeah.
What was the nature of your case?
I wish to be told that, but I'm wishing for justice from the court.
So now that you've been, you what were you told?
I was just told the court is not sitting, that the judicial service is on strike.
By who?
I think I heard it from some of the police officers.
It means that the your court in which your case is even not open.
Apparently, all the courts are unsitting.
So now that you are going, what are you hoping for?
I wish to come back tomorrow and check if the court will be open. I pay maintenance to the court, and my baby mama is supposed to pick it. But because she's not able to pick it, she's asking me to give it to her. So I came here to pay maintenance again. But I don't know if I'm supposed to give it to her or pay it to the court, because there's no judge available to sign for her to pick up the money. And she's stressing me, and the case is in court. So obviously, if the judge or court does not say anything, on my own, I cannot make a decision, basically.
How long have you been coming? How often do you come?
I come here almost every month. Every month
to pay maintenance.
Exactly, every month.
Why did you allow it to get to that stage?
So it's a court case, right? And sometimes some of the misunderstandings you can't solve at home, you bring it to court. So basically, since we came to court, I've been following the procedure. I'm good, and I feel like it is even best to pay to the court because I don't need to stress. You don't need to argue. Once I've paid to court and judge have signed and you pick up your money, I am good. So basically, that's why we got here. There was a misunderstanding.
I just in a woman date today, Yambra and the 15th, Yambra now. By a bar today, we'll be done to be behind you, court and codo. Oh, until whom they are codo or codo until one day. One may ask to send the court embado.
To mobile idea na nipa money ni kasa ni kachrem.
Oh, Nimpani, if you ever do an IFN on catching the court embado until young coffee.
So these are some of the people you spoke to.
Absolutely. So yesterday they were at the premises of the courts to ensure that to follow up on their cases. One of them was telling me that he had to come and pay maintenance for his baby mama to come and claim, and because the court is not sitting, he's been stressed to pay the money directly to his baby mama. But of course, he is confused whether or not to pay. If you pay it, there's nothing that shows that you have paid. So that is why we're even calling for people to adopt ADR. You see the thing. When you some such cases, when you go for ADR, you understand yourself. You'll be able to, do things in very comfortable.
Settle it very
way.
amicably,
Yes,
settle
now,
the issue very amicably.
every month you have to come to court wherever you are coming from, pay transportation, come and pay, sign, go back and ensure. And such situation, you don't fail. Margins of error? No, there's no margin of error. You have to ensure that deadline, clean, you are there. The money is ready, it's in your hand. You go and pay. Judge signs or the registrar will sign. And then you go back. Your baby mama will come and pick it up and then say, okay, I have received it. So that's how it works on order. So yesterday, such person was also affected because of the fact that JUSAC members were not working.
No action.
No action. There was
In
no
court
show
yesterday. Okay.
So now we are told, or the staff have been communicated to following organized labor meeting with emergency meeting with all the group leaders, and they have resolved that whatever steps that SNID has taken, for now, they are satisfied with it. Of course, they've had some subject to some conditions to be satisfied and all that. So just immediately, the president of the Judicial Service Staff Association, JUSAC, Mr. Samuel Afoteotu, and his team sent a circular release indicating that they have called, they have resumed, they are supposed to resume, all staff are to resume work today because now organized labor has rescinded or suspended or cancelled. We just want to be very careful the kind of word that they have so that so for now, immediately today, they have to resume work. So we'll be around to check whether or not the call to resume work has happened.
So now that the courts will resume today
Yes.
because JUSAG are no more joining organized labor strike, we can expect some cases in court today,
Absolutely.
right? The
In
Cocoa
fact,
Board case.
Yes, the Cocoa Board case will come. Yesterday was one of the cases that was affected by way of the strike because yesterday it was earmarked for hearing. It didn't come on. So today that will be done. And of course, the Sagleme affordable housing case involving Alhaji Collins Dauda and then some 3 others. In fact, there was supposed to be 4, but the contractor in the matter has passed on, and so he's no longer part of the case. That case will also come on. And yesterday's cases, there were a number of cases that were supposed to have happened yesterday, but because of the absence of JUSAC staff, those cases did not happen. And this is how the court works. Those cases that did not come on yesterday, today, they are the first cases that will be called before today's schedule or list is dealt with. You understand it? So the cases that happened yesterday, they are the first cases that will be dealt with
Because
today,
of before
because
the
of-
rest, which were scheduled for today,
Absolutely.
will
So
come on.
you expect a very packed and busy court day, even though some of the parties wouldn't know that if they miss their case because of a holiday or some action, the following day the case will have to come on. So some of them would be adjourned. The parties who will be in court today will also have a say as to how their cases should be. But of course, we are in the last month of this legal year, and at the end of July, if you have a case pending, then you should, what the next date, available date that you should be thinking now is in October. But of course, there will be few courts
Because
that
legal
will be,
vacation is coming up.
absolutely, there will be few courts that will be sitting as a vacation court, especially with the superior court. The district court and then the circuit court, they do not go on vacation. Are you getting the argument? They do not. The lower court, they do not go on vacation. But of course, moment like that, you see some of the judges, some staff take advantage of the situation and they'll go on leave. But the high courts, there will be some few who will be sitting as vacation courts. But the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, and they're automatic.
Legal vacation.
Legal vacation is full. You can't call them back.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can't call them back. So if you file any case in between the time, August and September,
then you should know that
the Court of Appeal will sit.
unless
or the
legal
Supreme Court
vacation
will
is
sit,
over,
and then they will
it is well.
Yeah, so that is what is supposed to happen. That's what will happen in relation to what is coming up within the judiciary and all that. So at the end, 31st July, this legal year ends, and so those courts that will be sitting as vacation courts will be taking care of fresh cases that will be arising. And they have some, when accused persons are in custody, the law is that you don't keep them beyond 2 weeks. So situations like that, the vacation court will be taking care of them. Now and every 2 weeks, you have to bring them. The court will check on their health, their state, and all that. If there's any issue that the court will have to deal with in terms of their fundamental human rights, the court would. And then motions that the court can do that do not affect the substantive matters, the vacation court can always deal with it. But of course, most of the big cases that we do know, all of them, if July ends, then the next time that you'll be hearing of them is in October.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
As
Lantam.
always, Murtala Inusah with the updates from the courts. And it's 7:55 a.m. This is still the Morning Star on 103.5 Star FM.
My songs are not smiling songs.